How far would you go to meet your hero? All Elle Campbell wants to do is meet their personal hero, non-binary icon Nuri Grena. Well, okay, they'd like a bit more than that. They'd like to learn how to do cat eye makeup. For Queen Bee Casey to stop critiquing their outfits, and for the finale of Elle's favorite show to have been less terrible. But meeting Nuri means the most of all. When Elle learns that Nuri is coming to town for a book signing on Saturday, Elle is thrilled. They've never been happier since coming out as non-binary, but they have a lot of questions. Questions only Nuri can answer. But Elle's dreams are dashed when an altercation with a surly substitute teacher lands them in Saturday detention. Elle is devastated until their two best friends come up with a plan to bust them out of school. A plan so outrageous, it just might work. Here is a preview of Elle Campbell Wins Their Weekend by Ben Kahn. There were so many useful ways that Elle Campbell could have started their day. They could have gotten an early start on brushing their teeth and getting dressed for school. Heavens knew it took them long enough to pick out the perfect androgynous outfit. They could have done jumping jacks and begun their morning with a little healthy exercise. Heck, even staying in bed and squeezing their eyes tightly shut until the alarm blared would have been a more productive use of Elle's time. Instead, they groggily pulled themselves out of bed and made a beeline for their computer to read the latest comments about Elle's favorite show, Phantom Thief. The show was about supernatural thieves who pulled daring heists all across time and space, and was just about Elle's favorite thing in the whole wide world. Elle usually loved talking to other fans, but today their mood only soured as they read a long chain of comments attacking their favorite episode, Wolfheart. Wolfheart is the best, most important Phantom Thief episode in years, and anyone who doesn't see that is a fool, Elle typed fiercely in response. The Wolfheart episode had introduced the current protagonist, the witty, non-binary hacker who had changed Elle's life completely. The character had given them the knowledge and the courage to come out as non-binary. Why didn't these internet twerps understand that? Why couldn't they realize how important it was to them? Elle spun around in their desk chair and surveyed the room appreciatively. Nearly every inch of it was covered in memorabilia from the show. There were the Phantom Thief posters on the wall, the Phantom Thief figurines that stood atop a bookshelf filled with Phantom Thief paperbacks and graphic novels. Next to their computer, with the Phantom Thief desktop wallpaper, was a picture frame of Elle cosplaying as a character from Phantom Thief at a local convention. "Elle, time to get ready, hun," shouted Elle's mother. There was no corner of the house in which one could hide from the bellowing of Susan Campbell. Yodelers and banshees traveled the world over to learn her secrets of vocal projection. "I'm getting ready, Mom," Elle called out, even as they remained in their office chair, legs folded like a contortionist. Elle had read online about the stereotype that queer people couldn't sit in chairs properly and had decided to embrace it. "No, you're not. You're arguing with strangers on the internet, aren't you? Stop it." "It's not arguing, Mom. It's civilized discussions on the pressing cultural issues of our day." Suddenly, the door to Elle's room burst open, and Susan Campbell flung herself through, doing her best impression of a character from some 90s sitcom that she'd tried and failed to get Elle to watch. Honey, I love you, but you need to stop arguing with strangers about which characters should kiss which other characters, and get ready for school. Elle pouted. They hadn't been arguing about fictional couples. Well, not this time, at least. Most of the time, yes, but not this time. Please don't give me that face, Elle. Sue's expression softened. I love you, and I'm so proud of you, and want you to always be your truest self. But ever since you came out, it takes you 3 times as long to get ready in the morning. So get going before you miss the bus. Elle finally unfolded their legs to slither out of their office chair. That's just 'cause fashion makes sense now. There's so much more to choose from and decide on. I want to look right and look cute, but it's so much work, and it takes forever, you know? Sue smiled, brushing aside a lock of her long red hair. You don't have to tell me. I've been at this a lot longer than you have. Welcome to the world of beauty, kiddo. Now get dressed and put on whichever makeup you like today, she called as she left Elle's room, closing the door behind her. You do it fast, then I got toast and eggs ready for you. You go slow, then I'm shoving you out the door with just one of those oat and grain bars that turn into a literal mountain of crumbs. Elle opened their closet. In just a few months, what had once been a wardrobe full of ripped jeans and logo t-shirts had given way to skirts, blouses, and button-downs in loud colors and patterns. Elle's eyes hovered over a jade green dress. It had been Elle's first dress and was still their favorite, and to them it looked even better now that their fiery red hair hung nearly to their shoulders. But now that it was time to actually put it on, they were second-guessing themselves. Wearing a dress always meant getting more stares from people at school. Even the excitement of wearing a pretty dress tended to fade after enough mocking looks and judgmental sneers. Some days Elle felt strong enough to fight the whole world, and some days they didn't. Elle passed the dress and rifled through the hangers until they got to their button-downs. The shirts were loud and colorful, most covered in floral patterns, but still they were a touch more masculine than the dress, and would garner less attention. Elle felt a little pang of guilt for not choosing the dress, like they weren't being true to themselves. But they couldn't help but smile when they buttoned up their shirt and looked in the mirror. The dark blue fabric was covered with bright purple and green leaves, flowers, and cacti. The combination of the colorful shirt with their long hair made Elle confident that no stranger on the street would ever be able to tell what gender they were. And that's exactly how Elle liked it. If they had to be confused about their gender, they were going to make everyone else just as confused about it too. Elle moved over to a shelf crowded with baubles and accessories and put on a pair of pink flower clip-on earrings. Elle knew they shouldn't be vain, but they couldn't help but feel joyous as they stood in front of the mirror. Elle couldn't have imagined being this person even a few months ago. Sometimes it still didn't feel real. Elle's moment of celebration was interrupted by Susan's powerful voice making its way into their room. The kitchen for eggs is closing in 10, 9, 8. I'm coming down right now, Elle shouted back, having more than inherited their mother's powerful set of vocal cords. They took one final moment to adjust their collar, just so, before racing out of their room. This has been a preview of Elle Campbell Wins Their Weekend.